first, Derek Mason shares his survival story. Alec, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
MuchoBurrito.com.
MuchoBurrito.com.
Yummy.
Thanks, Val. About 6 months ago, my next guest was planning his funeral. Didn't expect to celebrate Christmas or his 40th birthday, but through sheer determination and some new treatments, he's here with us and alive. Welcome local cancer survivor, Derek Mason. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Okay, so when were you first diagnosed?
I was diagnosed 11 years ago at the age of 29. I had a funny spot, let's say, on my shoulder, my left shoulder, and had been to my dermatologist actually about the spot 2 or 3 times previous, and each time he'd say use the word dismiss, but gave it a name that and told me not to be concerned about it. But eventually it did become larger, red, angry looking, a bit sore. And at that point, that's when I persisted and I told him I wanted it removed. And that's when the melanoma was found.
Wow, so it was irregular shape?
Yes, it was an odd spot. And that's what I would like to convey to your viewers is even in spite, we want to listen to our doctor's advice. But if you have a spot that you're uncomfortable with, you feel there's something more than what your doctor's explaining to you, persist to have it removed, because you know your body, and if you're uncomfortable with it, for peace of mind, my melanoma was underneath that mole or growth. It was hidden, yes. So
now, did you know at the time what melanoma was?
I did not. No, I was ignorant. I was naive at my diagnosis. I was young, macho, and certainly felt I could overcome it.
Now, from what I understand about melanoma, it's about sun is the 90% of all of the damage. People that get melanoma, they experience like sunburns and things. Is that what happened to you?
I've never been a sun guy, but I can certainly attest to in my younger years growing up with tank top shirts and burning my shoulders, playing outside all day, and my parents weren't as aware of the effects of the sun, and as my doctors have explained, the damage was likely done when I was in my youth.
Oh, yeah, that's what they say about it. That it's with the stuff you did as a little kid.
Yes.
That you're actually, and being fair-skinned and blue-eyed, you're a higher risk.
Yes.
Now, you thought that getting it removed would get rid of it, I would think. Mm-hmm. But here you are, getting close to 40 years old. You've married with 3 young girls, living a normal life. What happened?
Well, after my initial diagnosis, I had my lymph nodes removed, just to make to make sure that it stayed localized. There was no traces of it in my lymph nodes, so we felt confident that we had nipped it in the bud. 5 years is sort of a line in the sand, whereby if you get past 5 years without a reoccurrence, statistically you should be clear. I got to about 4.5 years, and that's when I found another spot in the primary region, and then I've had approximately 4 reoccurrences in that same area, and then about 3 years ago it went systematic, went through into my system, on my lungs. I've had 2 lung surgeries to remove spots, and to my liver, etc. So it really is, in the last 2 or 3 years, stepped up.
Wow. What is what does that do to your family? Like, so your wife and kids, how is that working? How is it coping with that?
Well, my wife, has been my right arm. She's been my advocate, and this again, what I would stress to people, especially when you get to such a serious.
So beautiful. Look at her.
Yeah, thanks. She's been very knowledgeable. When you get to a point where I've been, you need to be focused on your treatments and healing and what's ahead. And she's been a wonderful person to take the information, digest it, and explain it to me in layman's terms, and been an advocate for me. So again, for anybody dealing with serious illness, it's very important to have an advocate. We have a wonderful healthcare system, but doctors' time is limited. So you need to be able to be informed and your stuff.
And that's what you did, right? You decided to fight this through not only your determination, but also through some treatments.
Yes.
Now, because I think a lot of the times doctors, like, they see so many people a day. You have to your point about advocacy, you actually have to be your own fighter.
Yes.
Right? So what did you do?
My wife, because I moved around from hospital to hospital and oncologist to oncologist as it progressed, she carried a file of duplicate copies of my diagnosis and treatments I've been on, and so as we were able to bring each oncologist or doctor we dealt with up to speed and provide that chronology of my treatments, and and also research. She did a lot of online research, and my wife was also one of the founders of the Melanoma Network of Canada, because she did, after one of my reoccurrences, found it a little frustrating to find more information about the disease and how to treat it, and so we, along with another woman, founded the Melanoma Network of Canada.
Now, there are new treatments available, and something we were talking in the green room, something a little sort of reversed of what we've been looking at cancer and how to attack it. We don't have a lot of time, but maybe just touch on that just a bit.
Yes. So many traditional forms are chemotherapy.
Right? Where they strip your immune system.
Yes, and the Yervoy treatment that was successful for me was an immunal type treatment, and it a different approach in that it I guess ramped up my immune system and to fight the cancer, and I was excited about it because of it's a different approach, and again when I got to such a serious point, it was I was open to other suggestions, other forms of treatment, and I was very willing to try the Yervoy trial, and also its regimen was very complementary to my life. I was still able, whatever the outcome, to spend time with my family, and it wasn't very onerous. A lot of time in the hospitals. Yeah.
And you actually look great. You don't look like a cancer victim. You look like a survivor. And I just want to thank you very much for coming on and talking about melanoma, because it's one of those things that we think it just happens to tanners or whatever. Yes. But thank you very much. Really important information.
Well, thanks for having me.
For more information, please visit melanomanetwork.ca. When we come back, the latest work by Jenny Lynn James. That's pretty great. That's great.